Racing action on Tim's Corner Motorsports is presented by Pache Motors, the largest Ram truck dealer in Atlantic Canada. Browse their inventory online at pachemotors.com. Tranquility. Help for anxiety is only a click away. Learn more by visiting tranquility.app. Finish Line Vinyl Design, the official decal supplier of Tim's Corner Motorsports. Like them on Facebook at facebook.com/finishline vinyl design. And by CB Warren's Auto Care.
Hey, I'm CTWE wrestler The Mac.
And I'm Showtime Stevie Stamos.
Have you ever dreamed of owning your own race car and taking it out for a test drive? Well, thanks to our friends that Rent a Race Car, you can!
Visit www.rentaracecarne.com for all the details on how you can take one of these babies out to Stafford Motor Speedway. We'll see you at the races.
Touchdown!
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Living with anxiety or depression can make everyday situations and interactions seem impossible. And getting the right help can be expensive and inconvenient. We're changing that with Tranquility. Our program follows the highly effective gold standard, cognitive behavioral therapy, which helps people change negative thoughts and unhelpful behaviors by teaching them skills to practice in real life. Using Tranquility is convenient. You can move at your own pace from your phone or computer, and you don't have to do it alone. Your one-on-one coach is there to help keep you motivated and supported all the way through. If you're ready to unlock the tools you need to approach the day with confidence, visit tranquility.app to sign up for a free trial.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Vidane TV, where tonight we visit a track that is defunct in real life but still lives in the virtual world. The New England, Pennsylvania Shift Marketing and Design Grand National Series is here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway for tonight's running of the Ode Quinn Trailers 75 at the half mile known as Myrtle Beach Speedway. Good evening again, and ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kyle Young, here to bring you live flag-to-flag coverage of tonight's event. Joining me for tonight's 75 lapper here at Myrtle Beach Speedway, over in our production booth, Paul Showtime Strickland Jr., putting together a beautiful show for you and I here tonight. And alongside me, the always legendary Tim Terry. Tim, how are we doing tonight, my friend?
We're doing great, getting ready to see 75 laps of action. This is a tight little racetrack, a technical little racetrack. You have to be on it every single lap around here. And with these ARCA National cars, this fixed setup, it's going to be a ball. And it seems like the cream always rises to the top. We got some familiar names near the front of the field getting ready to see that green flag. And just a few moments' time, less than 5 minutes away from grading these race cars.
You get a shot of the current qualifying standings as they sit right now. John Peters currently on the pole. He ran a lap time of a 19.372. Evan Bullier on the outside of the front row. Then we've got Ryan Libby, Devin Marhefka, and Kenny Kibbe to complete the top five at the moment. Lap times are pretty close amongst this field. The top 19 drivers were able to go sub 20 seconds, and they're separated by about half a second between the pole and position number 19. So nothing out of the ordinary for these New England, Pennsylvania Series drivers. Always a very competitive field, and it looks like that is exactly what we have once again here tonight.
And you look at that pole position in John Peters. Ryan Libby is your point leader, and I believe it's 17 or 18 points from first to second, 18 points in between Libby back to Peters. And with only 5 races to go, including this evening, Kyle, he's really got to start picking away at some of those points. He doesn't have to get them all in one night. He just can't afford to lose a whole lot with 1 point per position for most of those positions. You really need to make sure that you're on it, and I think if you're John Peters, you got to make sure you beat Ryan Libby every single night. But the field is starting to grid, and we are getting ready to go racing for 75 laps around this racetrack. And you saw those top 10. How about the great qualifying effort for Devin Marhefka, the 22 car up there, with the drivers that we've seen win already this season, guys like John Peters, Evan Boyler, Ryan Libby, Kenny Kibbe, those guys that are up there in points, those guys that have won a majority of the features, and Devin Marhefka going to be mixing it up with them when we go green.
Yeah, not far off at all from his competitors right around him. So it'll be fun to see what Devin Marhefka can do tonight. See if maybe he can play spoiler amongst the series favorites and take a victory away from them. And he made some great points about the championship battle, Tim. Down to 5 to go. It's absolutely time to start thinking about that championship. And this isn't unfamiliar territory for John Peters. He was the champion in the last season in this series. So he knows what he needs to do to get it done, doing a great job of starting off the night in the right direction with the pole. But directly behind him in P3 is that points leader, Ryan Libby. The gap is small, but any night that you can beat him, even if it's just 2, 3, 4 points a night, that's going to make a difference in the long run of the championship scheme.
Yeah, you got to make sure that you are ahead of him here in these next couple of races, because if you can't get that gap twinned down or pared down just a little bit, it's going to be easier for Ryan Libby over these next 4 races after this evening, and I believe one of them, the next time that we race, is Talladega Super Speedway. So get as much as you can, as it looks like Peters is maybe having a little bit of connection issues. As we can see on the grid, he's not completely solid, but we should be going right here. Field's going to roll off after the 2-minute counter. So, Kyle, there's another thing we might have to keep an eye on.
Taking a look at everything on my end, it looks like he's good on the connection numbers, but we'll see if maybe that's the improvement. I didn't catch the issues there. Hopefully he won't have any major problems and can have a full competitive race here. That would be a shame to have something like that take effect and really have an impact on his championship hopes. You never want that to happen, especially when the battle is as close as it is going into this event here tonight. So the field's working their way around the racetrack, getting the tires warmed up a little bit, getting comfortable inside the cockpit of the race car, and getting ready for 75 laps of action. As mentioned, this is a very unique short track. It's very flat. Each end of the racetrack is a little bit different from the other, so this is going to be a very challenging race for these guys throughout the 75 lapper tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be an exciting race, as we still see a couple of blips from the 51 car of Peters, and it almost looks like, to me, it might even be some sort of graphical issue with that, because as you mentioned, Kyle, his numbers look good, but we'll see if he can hold it. Over 75 laps of action. Pace car is in Boiler on the outside of John Peters. We're getting ready to see the green for the first time this evening in this NEPS Grand National Division presented by Shift Marketing Design. The Quinn Trailer 75 is green, and the 51, Kyle, rock solid on the start. He'll head out to the lead.
He'll clear Evan Boiler for position number 1. Boiler and the 46 of Ryan Libby go side by side down into turn number 3. Boiler with a bit of an advantage there through the center of 3 and 4, and he will use that on the outside of turn 4 to take over position 2 as lap number 1 goes in the books.
Libby now takes a look over the 56 of Boiler, and in behind, Kenny Kibbe is trying to take that inside line around Devin Marhefka. Marhefka, after starting in that 4th place position, hung out on the outside. Jason Ricker, great qualifying effort in behind them, trying to pass Zaney on the inside in the 14. So a couple of side-by-side battles, and so far so good over a couple of laps as Kenny Kibbe continues to work over Marhefka and Jason Ricker to the inside of the 14 as they battle it out, and Charles Lewandowski a part of the battle too.
Kenny Kibbe just about had Devin Mahevka cleared for that position, but Mahevka came back with a strong run down the back straightaway. He kissed the outside wall there on the front stretch. Kibbe's almost able to clear once again. Will he be able to do so off of turn 2? He does. So Kenny Kibbe takes sole possession of position number 4. Devin Mahevka dropping right down. He doesn't want to get freight trained out, and that leaves the battle going on behind him between Zayden Farrell and Jason Ricker. As you see, the 52 machine of Corey Casagrande is on pit road with severe damage to the left side of that ride.
Well, usually 4 tires and wheels corner better than 3. He's going to come down to his box, and we're going to stay green through all of this. The 14 of Zane Farrell working the outside of the 22 now of Devin Marhefka for position number 5 as they continue to duel it out. That's an impressive battle there, Kyle. We saw the inside with Kenny Kibbe able to take that spot, but Zane Farrell's able to work the outside of Marhefka here, and for the most part has that position by about 3/4 of a car length.
Usually with a racetrack like this where it's flat and not a lot of banking, it takes some time for those upper grooves to transition into being competitive grooves, but we're seeing that middle line being an option here right off the bat. Zane Farrell doing a great job of being competitive on the outside of Devin Marhefka. He is just about clear, and now he is. So an outside pass for Zane Farrell puts that 14 machine up to position number 5. Devin Marhefka drops back to 6th, and now you're riding on board the left front fender of Devin Marhefka as he looks up ahead at Zane Farrell. Charles Lewandowski, the next driver to challenge Marhefka, but he's got about 3 or 4 car lengths to make up before he can do that.
Yeah, a nice little onboard shot there as you look up to the 14 of Zane Farrell, and from the blimp, there's Jason Ricker losing a spot in the last couple laps to Charles Lewandowski, so Lewandowski up to position number 7 as he chases down those in front of him. John Peters and Evan Boyler have pulled away by 2 seconds over Ryan Libby, Kenny Kibbe, and the rest of this 23 car field. It took the green flag here in this Oakwin Trailer 75, and just like that, this time by 10 laps will be completed.
Pretty great start for these drivers. Seen a little bit of battling early on, but for the most part, everybody being very patient, getting some laps underneath them, getting the tires warmed up. And patience isn't something that these guys really are. Well, they are fond of patience, but it's not something that you would initially think is necessary going into a 75-lap race. It's not a lot of time at a short track where you're lapping less than 20 seconds a lap. You're knocking out 3 laps a minute. You really got to get going. You don't really have a lot of time to wait around and try to plan for the long run here. You got to get going, but for the most part, we're seeing a lot of patience, a lot of smooth and calm driving amongst this field after some of these early battles have died down.
Logging laps and getting some green flag laps in, I think, is the name of the game. And looking back through here, we've seen some drivers already make their way up, albeit 10 laps and change in, 13 laps being worked on the board. Tim Shinosky's worked his way up to position number 10. He's up 4 spots. Matt Shinosky in behind him in the Fisher Plows number 0 is sitting in 11th place. He's up 4 spots. Brandon Uhouse behind them, 13th place, up 4 spots. Brent Roy is up 5 spots already from 19th to 14th. So we have some drivers already that are slightly on the move mid-pack, but there's plenty of time to work through this field. You've seen some drivers fall back a little bit. Kyle Casagrande, Matt Kenfield have lost a couple of spots since we dropped the green flag, but there's action all throughout this pack except for potentially up front. John Peters is starting to build that lead and pull away from the rest of the field.
Was checking out that shot there with Brendan Uhouse, and I'm not exactly sure if Dylan Kopech laid the bumper. Oh, we gotta have a caution flag. Caution is out. Trouble over in turn number 3. The 31 machine of Anthony Aiello has spun and has made some contact with the inside wall on that Budweiser number 31 ride. So a tough one for Anthony Aiello. Looking at it here, getting an opportunity to check it out. May have just been a slight mistake on his own, and kind of got collected up by some other cars around him.
Yeah, we're going to see that it's not exactly on his own as we look at the Rays Energy Drink instant replay. Wyatt Alexander, I believe, may have got into the back of him just a wee bit to send him around. But, Paul, I don't think it was completely Wyatt Alexander's fault. I think Anthony may have got checked up here a little bit.
Yeah, taking a look at it right now there, you can see Kopech dipping on down low in front of the 31 machine and gets a little bit of contact. Nothing too crazy there, but as the 31 comes in, we might have backed this up a few too many laps. It goes up high and looks like he... That's a little bit on the tough side to call. I'm not really sure what happened there. We'll take a look at it in super slow motion here. You can almost see the 76 gets a little bit out of shape there. Matt Kenfield up high, 09 there, Dylan Kopak down low in a blue and red car. And you can see the 31 kind of come up, and it almost looks like the car stops, and Wyatt Alexander plows into the back of him. And I mean, really nowhere for the 96 car to go at that point. Really, really weird for the 31, Anthony Aiello there. See if we can back this up one more time. Maybe take a look at it from the inside of that race car and find out exactly what the deal was. It's weird to see the car just stop like that, guys.
Yeah, I think he was making a reaction to the slide that Dylan Kopak had there coming off of turn number 2. Maybe he thought that Kopak was going to overcorrect and come back up into the outside lane where Aiello was running. And once he did that, he checked up, and Wyatt Alexander was just way too close to the back bumper of Aiello to realize that in time, and made some contact and spun that 31 car around. So minimal damage to the front end of Wyatt Alexander, not the same for the back end of Anthony Aiello, but we've been talking about it these last few nights, Tim, with a lot of short track racing stuff. Aerodynamics, not very important at this racetrack. I don't believe he had too much front end damage, so as long as the power plant is still good underneath the hood of that number 31 car, Aiello should be okay and still have an opportunity to compete.
The lights on the dash tell the story. You can see right here, we found on the onboard clip, for some reason, a 31 downshifts. That's why he stops real quick, the nose dips, and that's why the 96 got into the back of the 31. So I'm not sure why he downshifted, some kind of malfunction for sure, but doesn't look like it was a too crazy big hit. Like you said, Kyle, the damage isn't all that bad, but that's why he got slowed up there. For some reason, that car downshifted into third gear coming out of turn number 4.
Well, a very odd little ordeal there for Anthony Aiello. I do not believe he lost a lap during that. He did not, so he's still on the lead lap. He'll have to line up at the back of the field, but still on the lead lap. A little bit of damage to the rear end of that machine, but we'll see if he can have an opportunity to redeem himself and still fight for a solid finish. Lights are off atop the iRacing.com pace car. We're going to go green this time by your front row on this first restart, the same way that it was on the initial restart. John Peters on the bottom, Evan Bullier in position number 2. Then we have Ryan Libby, Kenny Kibbe, and Zane Farrell to complete the top 5. Devin Marhefka is in position number 6 on the outside of Zane Farrell. Green flag is out. Good start by Peters, but he is not able to clear Bullier. Almost squeezed Bullier into the outside wall, but that 56 machine is going to hang tough on the top side. See if he can't use that line to challenge for the lead.
Boiler continues to hang on the outside in the 56. The 46 of Ryan Libby trying to get to the back bumper of those two as they battle for the top spot. John Peters, once he's able to get out in front by himself, he's able to pull away. Evan Boiler going to lead that lap right there, albeit by 0.02 of a second. Now the 51 may be able to clear the 56. Peters to the lead over Boiler, and here comes Ryan Libby trying to find a way around top 3. Going to put on a show here as you look down the front straightaway into corner number 1, and Boiler left that door open. It's not going to be anything for Libby, though. Libby's going to fall back to 3rd.
Yeah, Libby is very eager to try to take that position over, but he's going to have to wait a little bit longer because the caution flag has flown for the second time. Trouble on the racetrack somewhere, somehow. I am not seeing it on my first glance through the field here, so it must have been, or may have been, a minor incident that got itself sorted out fairly quickly. But either way, yellow flag has flown for the second time. Might have something to do with the 76 of Matt Kenfield, actually.
Yeah, we'll back up the Fatheads Eyewear instant replay here. We'll back up and see what happened to the 76 machine of Matt Kentfield and just kind of rewinding the tapes. A good opportunity to take a peek. Looks like you got a little bit of a tangly situation, a little bit of bumper car action here, and we'll pull this up. We're going to take a look at it from the blimp view because there's a lot of cars involved. There you can see Brent Roy side by side. Kyle Casagrande gets a little bit of a bump there from Dylan Kopak in the 09. 13 comes up, makes it 3 wide. They get that sorted out, and Kopak moves up just a hair into the 13, into the 76. 76 up into the wall. So it's not really a big hit for anybody. Just a little bit of a bumper car action. Doesn't look too bad. Damage doesn't look all that bad on the outside of the number 76 car. So no harm, no foul. It looks like just another caution lap here on lap 26, a third of the race in the books. 2/3 still left to go, and after the race, shoot on over to fatheads.com. That's Fatheads with a Z. You got some high-end, oversized sunglasses. They got the aviators and all that good stuff, and good sponsor that jumped on board with the Showtime Cup Series, and they're helping us out at Vidane TV as well. So be sure to shoot on over there, let them know Vidane TV sent you, and let them know Showtime Cup Series sent you as well. They put on a great show at Richmond last night, and talked to those guys about all the races coming up here on Vidane TV, and they said, yeah, you know what, we'll let you guys use the old Fatheads logo as well, and it's pretty cool. They've got prescription sunglass frames as well as the regular eyeglass frames, and they actually carry Tony Stewart's smoke brand as well. So pretty cool little deal. Check them out, fatheads.com, Fatheads with a Z.
So with these 75 lappers, it doesn't take long before we get close to the halfway mark, and we're about 10 laps shy of that at the moment. It's been John Peters the entire way here, but the top five starting to look very competitive during that green flag run. Tim, Ryan Libby was looking very, very excited back there in position number 3. He was trying to do what he can to get around that 56 of Edmund Blader for P2, but just didn't quite have an opportunity to do so. Obviously, he knows that he's in the points lead. He has a marginal lead over John Peters, but any opportunity that he can get to beat John Peters is one less opportunity that Peters has to close in on that gap.
And how about that selection on the front row? John Peters goes to the outside for this restart. He'll start this one from the outside of row number 1, and we saw it with Evan Boiler. Evan was able to race side by side with John. John was able to take that lead back eventually on the inside before that caution flag flew, but a close call, so it's going to be John Peters taking that outside line, trying to ride it back to the lead position. Boiler to the inside, Libby, Kibbe, and Farrell, your top 5, and that was a better start this time. Green flag flies, but Evan Boiler still going to be on the left rear, or maybe not. Peters is clear, and he'll have the lead off too.
Thought for a moment there that Boiler was going to be able to keep underneath the 51 machine, but John Peters with a great run off of turn number 2 clears for the lead, drops down, and it continues right back to where he was. Ryan Libby and Kenny Kibbe are still side by side back there for position number 3. Kibbe trying to use that top side just like Peters did, but it doesn't look like it is working for him as Libby has the advantage. Kibbe down to the door, and now here comes Zane Farrell. Libby just about clear of Kenny Kibbe. Zane Farrell trying to get his nose into the mix. Kibbe fending him off for now, but that hole is still open for Zane Farrell going into 1.
Zane Farrell trying to take that spot away as the top 3 begin to try to race away. Kenny Kibbe nearly gets the fence off of the corner. The 14 continues to work that inside. Marhefka trying to figure out which lane's going to move and which way to go in that battle for position number 4, but they continue to duke it out in behind, and they start to line up in behind this battle. Jason Ricker, Charles Lewandowski, and how about Mike Hopkins making his way into the top 10? First time we talked about him all night long. Hopkins is in this battle, just kind of waiting to see what happens with these two side by side.
Yeah, a lot of cars racing hard right now, trying to see which lane's going to be the best one to use. Farrell going to clear that 22 machine of Devin Marhefka. Marhefka's opening the bottom for Jason Ricker. Ricker's thinking about it, but is not able to pounce on the opportunity just yet. And now Zane Farrell going to go back on the attack underneath of Kenny Kibbe. Kibbe with a good drive off the top of turn number 4. Just about clears him, but that front stretch, Tim, it's very uniquely shaped as it gets into turn number 1. It seems like it opens up more the further down into the turn you get.
We've got a battle for second, and it precipitated with a shot to the shorts from Evan Boiler to John Peters, and kind of jacked the leader up just a little bit. Not sure if it was Peters slowing down or Boiler getting into the corner and being able to roll that center a little bit better than the 51, but nevertheless, we have a change for position number 2. Ryan Libby able to get around the 56 of Boiler after that momentum was lost, and now he will chase down John Peters. So for the first time this evening, the 51 of Peters will look in the rear view and see that Phillips 66 getting a little bit closer to his rear bumper. So the 2-point leaders going at it up in front as we race down the back straightaway. Lap number 37 being worked on the board, closing in on what would be the halfway mark in this race here in about a lap.
So now Ryan Libby in position number 2, trying to do what he can to reel in race leader John Peters. He's done a good job of opening up a gap on Evan Bollier ever since making that pass. That gap just about half a second now, so he's making quick work to extend that gap. They'll come off at turn number 4 this time and see the cross flags in the air. We are halfway home in tonight's O'Quinn Trailer 75 for the New England, Pennsylvania Shift Marketing and Design Grand National Series here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway. It's been John Peters in front the majority of the way. I think Evan Bollier may have stolen a single lap lead on the night, but was not able to clear in front for the race lead. Nobody has been able to do that just yet. Ryan Libby trying to make ground. He seemed to push very, very wide off of turn 4 there, nearly made contact with the outside wall, but only lost 100th on the TBL there.
And through the top 10 or so, the battles have kind of subsided a little bit. Caution flag will fly, so the yellow flag will fly. The field will get bunched back up again, and we'll see what happened to bring out that yellow flag here just past the halfway point, the 76 of Kentfield on our screen.
Yeah, Matt Kenfield got a piece of that. It looks like it originated with the 13 machine of Brandon Marhefka going into turn number 1. Anthony Aiello also got a pretty good piece of that one. So a couple innocent victims there from a mistake by the 13 of Marhefka, Paul.
Yeah, you can see the 13 kind of goes down on the rumble strips and shoots that thing down low, tries to correct it, and, well, there's race cars there because it's a racetrack, and you see the 76, 13 gets caught up in it, so tough break for those guys, and man, it's tough to see that, especially just passing halfway here, and there's actually quite a bit of damage there on the Aiello machine of the 31. He got a piece of it, shot him up into the wall, and really nowhere for the 76 to go when the car's sideways in front of you. It's really hard to turn, especially coming right out of the corner like that. And there you see Corey Casagrande got that car fixed, and the number 52 getting by. So quite a few cars on pit road. Looks like about 10, maybe 12 cars on pit road here, Kyle.
Yeah, we had some interesting games being played on the back straightaway there. John Peters looked to come in, faked and came out. Ryan Libby did the same thing. Evan Bollier did not. His 56 car goes in. Zane Farrell stays out. Kenny Kibbe goes in. Devin Marhefka stays out. And then looking through the field here to see who also came in. Kenny Kibbe comes in, Charles Lewandowski, Jason Ricker go in, Tim Shinowski, or that's Matt Shinowski, my apologies, the 26 machine of Brent Roy, also coming down pit road, Dylan Kopech. So about 50-50 throughout the field here, Tim. We got some that came in for tires, others that did not.
Yeah, you got some drivers that decided to head their way down and some that stayed out. And we kind of saw this a couple of times. Thompson comes to mind earlier in the season where we had some drivers, and albeit it was a little later than just past halfway, come down to pit road, get service on their race cars, and come back out and be able to race to the front. And Ryan Libby, I believe, was the winner in that one. So we've seen this strategy play out before. For guys like Boiler and Kibbe, there's plenty of laps to get this done. So I like their strategy right now. There's plenty of laps to get things done as long as we do get some green flag racing in between here, Kyle, because we've also seen some of these races have a couple of cautions near the end. But we'll see how this all plays out.
Yeah, that's a big thing for the drivers that are taking this strategy is you need to be able to have enough laps to work your way through the field. And not only do you need enough laps, you also need to make sure that you don't get caught up in any riffraff, being a little bit further back in the field than you were previously. So this will be fun to watch in the closing 30 laps of this race. It will be 30 to go once the green flag drops. And once again, we see John Peters taking the top side on this restart. So there's something up there that he really likes on these restarts.
Well, we saw the restart last time. He was able to clear easier the second place driver. So we'll see if this happens one more time because he's got a new friend to the inside in the check that 46 of Ryan Libby, and we are getting ready to go back to green. Green flag is out, and we race down the front straightaway, and look at that start by Peters. Clear up front.
Much easier start for John Peters that time. Immediately clears Ryan Libby for the race lead. Libby goes to second, Zane Farrell in third. Looks like Michael Hopkins was trying to get to the outside of Tim Shinowski for position number 4. Wasn't able to do so. Now he's looking to the inside as they come into turn number 1. No space for him to do that. Right behind him, though, Wyatt Alexander and Brandon Uhouse are battling for position number 6, and it looks like Alexander will win that battle.
So Wyatt Alexander moves up 1. Devin Marhefka had issues on that start with his connection. He has fallen out of the race session from position number 4. And keeping an eye back there about mid-pack. You see them 3 wide in the back of the shot. Charles Lewandowski in the middle. Jason Ricker is going for a ride in corner number 3 or 4, and that will bring out the yellow flag. And check that. That was the opposite end of the racetrack, but that was precipitated, Paul, by some 3 wide racing. The drivers on new tires coming through the field, and we'll cue up the Fatheads instant replay. And Jason, just an innocent bystander there, trying to get through this mess.
Yeah, quite a few cars here on track, Tim, and you can see, well, we can see here, 3 wide action. Brent Roy down low, Charles Lewandowski in the middle, Matt Kenfield up high, and we'll hit play from the blimp. You can see the 9 car. Corey Casagrande gets a little bit of a run, shoots down low, and, well, the 9 car was there. Spins him on around, boops him around in the back end of that race car and spins him. Doesn't look like there's too much damage on either the 52 or the 9, but that's exactly right. You get a couple of Dr. Feelgoods on that race car, and you really want to move that thing up towards the front. So can't really blame Corey Casagrande for trying to get down low, but it's tough to do that when there's actually a car there.
And that happens just after mentioning the fact that these drivers on fresher tires have to be careful, working their way back through the field. Jason Ricker was one of them. He was racing just outside the top 5 in the first half of this race, gets spun around, and now has to restart at the very back of the field in position number 20, and he will have less than 25 laps to go to try to work his way through. So the job just got a little bit harder for that number 9 machine. Brandon Marhefka in car number 13, he is your free pass recipient. He goes back onto the lead lap, and Tim, I guess I must have missed something here because the 22, oh, I can see it right here. Connection troubles for the 22 of Devin Marhefka. He has unfortunately fallen out of the server, and he is currently shown 5 laps down in dead last.
Yeah, we mentioned that already. Scheduled to start 4th on that last restart, but had the issues coming to the green flag. So he is currently on the outside looking in, and the last driver being scored on this racetrack or in this race. The only driver not on the racetrack. All the other 22 drivers back to Jeff Brown, who is 1 lap down. Still on the racetrack and still has a shot at winning this thing. Keep your eye on those drivers that came down pit road on the second to last caution it is now, as Evan Boyler is going to restart position number 7. He is the driver that led those drivers down onto pit road, and he's going to look at the top 5 here and potentially get back to where he was, but he's going to have to get up on the wheel. Great run for Tim Shanowski and Mike Hopkins, 3rd and 4th right now. A little bit of pit strategy there, Kyle, but still working up there. They were well within the top 10 before the round of caution flag pit stop started.
How about this for some pit strategy? Ryan Libby came down under this caution flag. He is no longer the runner-up car in position number 2. So this is going to be very, very interesting to watch. 22 laps when we go green. The 46 of Ryan Libby is going to line up all the way back in position number 19. That is a lot of cars to pass in a short period of time. He really needs green flag laps here.
We seen him do it at Thompson, though, so if anybody can do it, it's going to be Ryan Libby, but he's got the deck stacked against him now with just over 20 laps to go. John Peters is gone. Green flag flies. We're back underway. Zane Farrell going to move to position number 2, and Hopkins going to try to take that outside line around Shanowski for position number 3.
Great drive by the 78 of Michael Hopkins to get to the top side and trying to take over position number 3. He has a slight advantage going into turn number 3, but that bottom line for Tim Shanowski working out better for him. He'll pull ahead coming off of turn number 4. He's got the spot at the line, but he is by no means clear just yet. Trying to do so in the center of 1 and 2, and that he does. Hopkins is able to chop off Wyatt Alexander, who is almost in the middle of a 3-wide battle, as Evan Boyer was thinking about making it 3-wide down to the bottom. Now Boyer gets into the back bumper. Kenny Kibbe gets into the back of him. Kibbe and Charles Lewandowski go around, and we've got a huge mess, and it takes out points leader Ryan Libby. Ryan Libby with a huge amount of damage on the front end of that number 46 machine. Caution flag is out. This race just turned on its head completely.
Yeah, it started up there with that 96 of Wyatt Alexander and the 56 of Evan Boyler. It just checked up in behind. And Paul Kyle had mentioned it. The 96 was almost 3 wide about a half lap before that. Looked like the thing got tight, shoved up the racetrack. Boyler was able to keep off him. The second time, it caused that checkup, and we'll see it here on the replay.
Another Fatheads Eyewear instant replay. Going to take a nice wide shot of these drivers taking a lap here, and we can see exactly what went down. About 7 or 8 cars back, there you see the 15 up on the outside, the 01's around, Kopech gets by, the yellow machine gets by. Everybody else is in it. Libby's in it, big time damage, a flip over there from Lewandowski. Ricker's in it, the number 9 car, the 55, skates on by. There you can see the 15 gathered it back up. Actually looks like the 55 might have gotten himself another piece of it, but we'll back it up one more time, take another couple of lookies at it. There's some bits and pieces flying off the Brent Roy machine, number 26. Just big time damage here throughout the field, and Lacey said it there in the Facebook chat. Cautions breed cautions, and man, it's crazy to see. You got a little bit of a slow motion shot here. There you can see the shot to the 96, the shot to the 56, the 15 shoots up high. There's the 01 going around. Brent Roy's going around. Kopech does have some damage. The 76 and the 9 at the back of the 31. They shoot Lewandowski over. There's the championship leader. But a 46 car, he has got some damage. And man, Corey Casagrande involved as well, the 44 of Scott McDonald. So pretty much a who's who back here in this wreck. It's going to take out a lot of quick cars, and it's crazy to see it here. It looks like we got probably going to restart with 13, maybe 14 laps to go. And it's just calamity back here, Kyle.
Yeah, that one took out a lot of drivers. Now, one thing that we haven't mentioned at all tonight, which should be a normal occurrence, seeing that these guys race with us each and every, well, just about every Thursday night. These drivers do have a fast repair, so a lot of them had to use it there during that last wreck. So it gives you an insurance policy, but now you have to be a little bit concerned after you use that, Tim, because now there are no more get out of jail free cars. If you get in trouble, you're going to have to suffer the consequences.
Yeah, we saw Ryan Libby able to use it that time. Anthony Aiello actually used it on the previous yellow flag, so he's got a little damage to his race car. Kenny Kibbe able to use that quick repair and get himself a clean race car, but for the most part, they are going to have to be up on the wheel, and cautions breed cautions, like Lacey had said, and especially late in this race where you got a lot of fast race cars and a lot of those drivers that we're used to seeing running up in the top 5, especially early in this race, running at the back. You got to kind of tiptoe your way through and make sure you don't make a mistake and don't shove the nose up the racetrack and it ends up being a 20th place finish, because if you get a 20th place finish and you're Ryan Libby, John Peters is leading, chances are you may lose the point lead going in to Talladega, and you don't want to have that as a wild card.
And you have to know that John Peters is aware of the situation with Ryan Libby right now, so he is licking his chops. The pressure's on a little bit harder for him to get the victory tonight and gain as many points as he possibly can. Green flag comes out. Another good restart for John Peters. Better restart that time for Zane Farrell. Peters still clears for the race lead, but Farrell was able to stick with him a little bit better. Going to go side by side for position number 4 with Tim Shinosky and the 96 of Wyatt Alexander. Alexander trying to make that top side work, pinching the 18 down as much as he can. But Shinosky's going to get the better run off of turn number 4. Slides a little bit, and here comes Wyatt Alexander right back on the attack.
Great battle for that spot. Brandon Newhouse there as well, and Evan Boyler going to stick that nose down to the inside and try to pick up one more spot as they battle. Little contact. 96 Alexander not going to be able to save it. He's going to go around in front of the field, and I think everybody is going to be able to get by, and we are going to stay green.
Very surprising to not see the caution flag come out. I know that was a one-car incident, but that was right directly in the middle of the field. Great job by everybody to get by, but it looks like that we will stay green. So a big heartbreak there for Wyatt Alexander as he was inside the top 5 at the moment of that incident. You're checking out race leader John Peters right now. It will be 10 laps to go when he hits the start-finish line. The gap is a little over half a second back to Zane Farrell. Remember, these right now, the top 4 cars have not been down onto pit road. The first car that has is the 5th place runner of Evan Bollier. He will come across the line at 1.6 seconds behind race leader John Peters. So with 10 to go, he now makes the pass for 4th place. So Bollier needs to get up on the wheel if he's got an opportunity to win tonight.
And the next car up on his list would be Mike Hopkins, but what a run by the 78 car. Top 3 performance here in this race, and it's clicking down a little closer to the checkered flag, and Hopkins going to try to nail down a podium finish, but Evan Boyler right behind him. Those quick tires, or those new tires, able to roll a little quicker through the center of the corner off, and as we say that, there is the caution flag. So negate all of that. The 24 of Austin Bulkey, one of the drivers who we've seen made the debut during the Super Truck race, is around in the corner. And Paul, that'll bring up another Fatheads Eyewear instant replay. And it looks like he may have had a little help.
Yeah, having some friends in low places, so to speak, gets a little bit of assistance in his spinning adventure there. We're going to pull up the instant replay and give it to you. There you can see Bulkey down low in the 24 machine, and Libby's up high in the 46. There you see Kyle Casagrande in the 7 car, 15 is Kibbe, and side by side the 7 and 15. It looks like Kyle shoots down low, gets into, it almost looks like he hits both the 24 and the 15 at the same time. It's kind of tough to tell. We'll get another instant replay here, a little bit slow motion here. And you can see the 15 gets a wall just a little bit, just enough to get a little bit of a spark flying. And the 7 comes down low, shoots down, kind of misses the apex just a little bit. And you see gets the back quarter panel of the 24 and the inside quarter panel of the 15. So kind of splitting in the lanes a little bit there. What do you call it? A spare in bowling? And big time damage there on the right front of the 7 car of Kyle Casagrande. So tough night gets tougher, and a couple more cars in the back of the pack with damage. You see he's got the Excedrin on the quarter panel. They're going to need a couple of them after this race.
So the plot thickens here just a little bit. You got to imagine that if you're somebody like maybe Ryan Libby, this doesn't help you out too much. Libby's being able to get back up to position number 10. But I feel like this may actually work out in a benefit to Evan Bullier, that erases some of the gap up to race leader John Peters. I believe we will stay double file here, so he's going to be lining up potentially right on the back bumper of John Peters, as long as Peters continues to choose that outside line. So we're only going to have a few more laps here, Tim, but that 56 car is going to be a fun one to watch on this restart.
Yeah, he's going to restart in position number 4, and keep in mind, if John Peters chooses that outside line, Evan Boiler is going to be right behind him when we go green. So this is going to be a choose that John Peters is going to have to make, whether it's a good or a bad. And side note for that battle for the championship, Ryan Libby has made his way back up to position number 10. He'll start on the outside line. He'll still have a couple laps to make his way up a little closer towards the front of the field. So not completely done there either, but he's still got some laps to do it, albeit they are very quickly clicking away. And it looks like John Peters is going to choose that outside by the looks of this here.
And that is exactly what the 51 machine is going to do. So that will put Evan Bullier right on the back bumper of John Peters. So depending on how well of a restart Bullier can get, maybe he can get the advantage, immediately take over position number 3 from Michael Hopkins. But if he can make quick work of Zane Farrell, we might have a good battle for the win here. Only 3 laps to go in the O'Quinn Trailer 75 here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway. It has been John Peters all the way. Fresh tires are on his back bumper. Can he hold them off? Pace car is on pit road, waiting for the 51 to fire, and the 14 fires first. I don't know if there's going to be a penalty for Zane Farrell, but he absolutely fired before John Peters did.
And he is going to be the leader of this one and battle in behind them. Keep an eye on this, and that's going to be a caution. Are they taking back the start?
I believe I heard some spinning happening off of turn number 2. We're going to get a confirmation on that, and indeed there was. The 52 of Corey Casagrande spun around and made an entrance to the backstretch pit road. That was also in conjunction with some contact between himself and the 9 of Jason Ricker. Brent Roy got a piece of that one as well. Kenny Kibbe, another incident involved with him. Man, it's been rough for some of these guys.
Yeah, for sure, Kyle. We'll take a look. Another replay here brought to you by Fatheads Eyewear. And you can see the 52 of Corey Casagrande just barely gets into the back quarter of the 9 car, and as he kind of tries to gather it back up, gets a little bit of a shot in the pants there and spins him down into the pit road entrance there, like you said, on the backstretch. And we'll take another look at it because we got Brent Roy in the 26 also got a piece of that action as well. And you can see him on the outside there in the green and blue Wolf car. And just really nowhere for him to go. He gets a good little clip there of the number 9 car, kind of shoots him up to the outside, and some big damage on the right front of that car. But a lot of torn up sheet metal here in Myrtle Beach, seems like.
Paul, not sure if you can get a replay on that restart here. John Peters, he is trying to ask for a replay review from the race control while we are under this caution flag. It's been silent ever since then. It seemed very clear to me that Zane Farrell was the first car to fire there and not race leader John Peters.
Yeah, we can definitely take a look at the replay. We'll look at it from the chopper view here, and we'll give it to you in real time, and we'll back that up just a little bit more because that was a little bit premature. And well, we'll give it to you in slow motion, and there you can see definitely the whole shot went to the 14. So he hit the line first. I don't know if there's going to be any kind of penalty for that, or if we're going to well, we're definitely going to get another restart here. So more than likely going to be a stern warning to the 14 of Zane Farrell to watch those restarts.
So it was just listening over on race control. They have made the decision. John Peters is going to be considered the control car for this restart. So Zane Farrell is being shown as your race leader, but John Peters, who is being scored second at the moment, he is going to be considered the race leader and the control car on this restart. So race control did deem that Zane Farrell jumped to that restart. He will not be the control car. He has to obey John Peters as the control car, and you have to imagine that if that happens again, it's going to be a little bit worse than what he's going to have to deal with on this final restart.
And one and only attempt at a green-white checker, too. So this race is going to come up, I believe, as an 80-lap race at Myrtle Beach. The Oakland Trailer 75 extended 5 laps as the field will double up. Pace car lights are off, and John Peters will be the control car. And you can't discount what Zane Farrell tried to do, though. Tried to get out and get that jump, and just didn't pan out the way that he wanted to in the 14 car. But now he'll have an opportunity to jump it and try to redo it again and not get put to the back or not get penalized. How about Evan Boiler, though, going to start now on the inside in position number 3. This might work out for Mike Hopkins. John Peters is going to lead this field to green, and Zane Farrell might be a little bit conservative this time. Green flag flies, and we're about to have a battle 3 wide for second.
Bollier waits no time, tries to make it 3 wide. Both the 14 and the 78 shove up, opens up a lane on the bottom for Bollier. He can't get next to Zane Farrell. Farrell will slide down in front for position number 2. Side-by-side battle for 3rd. Off at turn number 4, the white flag will fly. Anthony Aiello spins in the background, but we stay green.
Field has taken the white flag. Final lap here in the Oakland Trailer 75, and the battle is going to be for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th behind John Peters. The champ is standing to pick up a few extra points here and get closer to that championship point lead out of 4. Checkered flag, and John Peters is going to win one more. It's going to be Farrell for 2nd, and Evan Boiler comes back to position number 3 at the end of it. What a finish to that one. And John Peters one more up on Ryan Libby. That is his 6th victory of this Shift Marketing Design Grand National Series. He now takes the win lead on the season, Kyle, by 1 over Ryan Libby.
Ryan Libby was able to fight his way back to position number 5. However, I did catch in the background that he made a very aggressive move on Dylan Kopak going into turn number 1 on the final lap and turned that 09 machine around. So there could be some potential post-race penalties that may impact that 46 machine. I guess we'll have to wait and find that out in a later moment. I don't know if we'll get that opportunity to hear about that before we go off the air. But definitely something to keep in mind. Ryan Libby comes home in 5th place. Michael Hopkins was there in 4th. Brandon Marhefka, how about that 13 machine? He was in all sorts of drama throughout this race tonight. He is able to come home with a 6th place run. Matt Shinowski finishes in 7th. Brandon Newhouse 8th. Tim Shinowski is in position number 9. And after rolling that car over on the front stretch, Charles Lewandowski is able to salvage a top 10 out of it.
11 through 20, it sees Matt Kenfield, Austin Bulkey after having issues earlier. Dylan Kopak after that slide with a little bit of help on the last lap scored his 13th place. Jason Ricker in 14th. 15th is going to be Corey Casagrande. Jeff Brown, Kenny Kibbe scored his 17th. Brent Roy 18th. Scott McDonald top 20 and 19th. And Wyatt Alexander completes that top 20.
Final cars on the field. Anthony Aiello, after getting spun out there on the penultimate lap of the race, he suffers a 21st place finish. Kyle Casagrande, the last car on the racetrack, in 22nd, and the only driver to DNF tonight, the 22 machine of Devin Marhefka. He is credited 36 laps down in position number 23. So It is time to talk with the race winner of the O'Quinn Trailer 75, John Peters, win number 6 on the season. John, what a dramatic one it was. Some tire strategy. You decided not to make a pit stop at all throughout this race. Almost lost the lead on the penultimate restart there to Zane Farrell. Race control stepped in, awarded you the lead back, and you were able to hang on the green-white checker to get the win.
Yep, I think you summed it up. What a wild race, stressful race for me out there out front. The strategy could have gone one of two ways. Either that works or that doesn't. I've learned my lesson a few times this year, leading the race and taking the chance to come down and get tires. You can see what happens in the back when there's urgency to pass cars quick and get to the front. Just wrecks happen, and that's what a couple guys got caught up in back there, which you obviously don't want to see, but that's just kind of the gamble that you take. So I figured I'd stay out. I knew that I had conserved my tires well enough. I think I ran my fastest lap of the race in the last lap. So I knew I had enough in the tank to hold guys off. You never know what can happen. I mean, we saw what Zane was able to do there on that next to last restart. I give him credit for making that move and trying to get the lead. I appreciate race control kind of reversing that for the next caution so we could get that right. But it was tough. It was stressful. Glad we could hang on and get this win.
Very curious to get inside your head for a moment about the restart strategy. It seemed that first restart where you had Evan Bullier on the outside, he did a pretty good job of showing you that outside lane was there, and from that moment on, you stuck with the outside just about the entire way through. What about that restart did Evan show you that made you want to take the top?
Yeah, Evan got a great restart. I had noticed that a couple days ago in our Monday practice. It seems like when the tires got older and had a little bit less grip, they could make the outside work, and there was grip there. Evan clearly, quicker than I thought in the race, was able to hang out there. So as soon as I saw him show strength and be able to hold the grip, I figured it's going to be a lot harder for guys to pass me on the bottom than it would be on the top. If you could just hang on someone's quarter panel, it's just really hard to get them clear. So I figured that'd be my defensive move, get a good enough start on the top, and then I'd be able to get the run off of 2 to be clear and hold the lead. It's interesting to know how that would have worked out either way. I didn't go back to the bottom. I thought about it there, especially at the end after Zane kind of got the one up on me there. I thought about going back to the bottom, but figured the top was probably a little bit safer choice. So that's what we stuck with.
So in the battle for the championship points lead, it appears that you are going to win the battle for this one, and it sounds like we're going to Talladega next week. So how beneficial is it for you to close in on that points championship, knowing that we're going to such a wild card event as Talladega is?
Yeah, I literally have no choice but to try to keep coming out and winning these races. Just typical Ryan Libby fashion, right? He got wrecked in the second half of the race and still finished 5th. He's killing me with that all year. It's so hard to get that guy to finish out of the top 5. Same thing happened to me at Charlotte. Got caught up in a wreck, but I can only get back to 8th. Those are the types of things that he's been doing. Even when I can get top 3s and get wins, he hangs right around. So any points I can get are going to be crucial. We have no idea what will happen next week at Talladega. No clue. That things could swing in a number of different directions. It brings me stress and anxiety that race is coming with only 4 to go, because that could shake up things a lot. So I just have to capitalize on these opportunities like tonight and try to chip away at that lead.
Well, you did a great job of doing just that. Victory number 6 on this season. John, who would you like to thank?
Yeah, big thanks to O'Quinn Trailers for sponsoring the race tonight. I thought Myrtle Beach was a pretty fun track, really unique. So thanks to Danny and O'Quinn Trailer for hopping on. Thanks to you guys in the booth at Vidane. Thanks to Shift Marketing and Design. Thanks to my parents for watching. Thanks to Steve for the text there. Thank you for watching. Thanks to my girlfriend and my dog for letting me do this, laying in the kitchen watching me right now. Appreciate their support. And then thanks to all of our real-life partners, Rental North America, Libby Septic, DB's Variety, 4 Seasons Synthetic, and Turn 4 Automotive.
Winner of the O'Quinn Trailer 75 here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway for the New England, Pennsylvania Shift Marketing and Design Grand National Series. Win number 6 on the season, John Peters, trying to close in on a 2nd consecutive championship. The momentum definitely going back to his favor heading into Talladega next week. We'll send things on over to Tim Terry, who is with our runner-up finisher in tonight's event, the 14 of Zane Farrell.
Well, Zane, you almost had the advantage on the penultimate restart. Walk us through trying to get maybe into John Peters' head and trying to get that advantage swinging in your way.
Yeah, I tried to get the one-up on him, like he said. I noticed on his restarts, every one of them, he was going right as he got to the line, and I didn't get a couple good restarts next to him before, but then coming to the that penultimate restart there, I figured, I'm gonna take the chance, and if he goes, he goes, and if not, I'll get black flagged, whatever. We threw it away, but I was very fortunate not to get black flagged, but I'm glad that it worked out, But John drove a hell of a race. He's really the best one to beat in this series.
Earlier in the race, we saw you battling with Devin Marhefk on the outside line. We've seen the inside line work. How fun was it to be in this race car on this racetrack that seemed to have more than a groove, maybe a groove and a half?
Well, quite honestly, I said going into this race, in practice we sucked, and qualifying wasn't any better. And I said, I guaranteed I'm going to get wrecked in lap one. But I ended up hopping on the outside there, and I got around Devin. I got around a couple other guys on the outside, and we were up to fourth or fifth, and I figured if I could just keep it up a lane, maybe I might have something. And I know that's where I made most of my passes tonight, but the track definitely got a lot better for me.
So we go from Motegi last week up to this week at Myrtle Beach, and then we take it to Talladega Super Speedway in 1 week time. What's your thoughts going in to the Super Speedway? What do you have to do to set yourself up to try to get a win there?
Full send. I'm going checkers or records next week.
That's the mindset going in. Is there anybody you want to thank from tonight's race? Any sponsors on this race car? Who do you want to thank for the performance?
I'd like to thank Shift Marketing for everything they've done for us, Vidane, and I like that my parents are watching, my girlfriend's watching. That's about it.
That's Zane Farrell, P2, here this evening at Myrtle Beach in the Oakwin Trailer 75. We'll kick it on back over to Kyle, who is caught up with Mr. Belvedere, finishing in position number 3.
Indeed, I have Evan Bullier, the first driver in the finishing lineup that did make a pit stop for tires tonight. Evan, another great showing for you. You were inside the top 5 the entirety of the first half of the race. You were the first man that made the decision to come down onto pit road. It looked like the top 2 were trying to play some trickery on you. You decided to stick with pit road. What was going through your head on that restart, and why did you decide to come down?
Yeah, honestly, kind of frustrated with how the race finished there. We were much better than that, I think. It's easy to be. I guess it's a good thing when you're frustrated with a third place finish. But when I knew I had to do something different than John and Ryan, and taking tires was it. Just unfortunately, we were in the wrong spots a couple times coming up through the field, like John talked about earlier. That's just the chance you take, and it's frustrating, but we'll take third. We'll take third. I'm glad to be upset with third.
That second to last restart there, you were in position number 4, got the opportunity to line up right behind John Peters. The caution comes out very quickly after that, and you then go down to third place behind Zane Farrell since John decided to take the top. What do you think were the big differences between those 2 restarts, and was maybe starting on the outside in 4th better than starting in 3rd?
It would have been any other time than that restart, I think. Obviously, Zane got quite a jump on that restart, and it worked out great for him. And obviously, it got reversed, but being on the outside was definitely where you wanted to be. But we really need to get single file and get racing. Needed more laps under green to really do anything. Every time it was only 3 or 4 laps, and then we'd have a yellow. So it's hard to make up spots there. But John did everything right. And just like the robot that he is, that's I'm coining him that nickname. He's the robot, and he wasn't making any mistakes when he was ahead of me for that first part of the race, and he wasn't making any mistakes at the end either.
So we head into Talladega next week. We've got about, 4 races left to go in the championship, and if what I'm looking at is accurate, looks like you are 57 points out of the championship lead heading into that event. You've got some work to do ahead of you if you're going to stay involved in this championship chase. What do we need to do to tackle Talladega to find ourselves a good run to keep that going?
Well, you just got to survive. I mean, that's what it's all about there. And even sometimes that isn't enough. Again, I go back to the first race this season at Daytona. I was leading. We were leading going into turn 3, and we end up 22nd. So that's a big chunk of points right there. And things are going to happen next week, and we just got to try to be there at the end. That's all we can do.
Well, Evan, it definitely was not the way that you wanted it to play out. Either way, though, you said it yourself, you're glad to at least be frustrated with a third-place run. Who would you like to thank tonight?
Absolutely. Got to thank my family for watching. My mom and dad, they always support me, and all the great crew that helps us out every weekend. And on the super late model, they're all super supportive. And my wife, and I'll get with John and thank my dog. She's on the couch right now sleeping, but I know she supports me, and got to thank my great sponsors too: Hancock Lumber, Bullier Construction, Restorations Home Remodeling, LB Cleaning Company, the all new NitroApparel.com. Everybody go check it out. It's my new pet project. And Amsoil 4 Season Synthetic, Bonafide Builders, and Jack's Property Service. I got a lot of great partners with this team, and I'm looking forward to this season.
So there you have it, third place finisher in tonight's Oak Quinn Trailer 75 at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Evan Bullier tried the tire strategy, just didn't quite work out for him, and he is only able to come back up to a third place run. Well, Tim, no surprises here. Another very entertaining race tonight for the New England, Pennsylvania Shift Marketing and Design Grand National Series. A whole bunch of things to talk about. Tire strategy. Great racing throughout the field. An itchy trigger finger for Zane Farrell there on a restart to try to take advantage of it. A green and white checkered. All in all, another great race.
And for John Peters, as he mentioned, it seems like Ryan Libby always seems to rebound. And, what was a 17-point advantage is now a 12-point advantage. John Peters trying to chase that down over Ryan Libby. So 4 races to go. It's definitely doable, but we'll see what happens after Talladega. I think we'll get a clearer picture after we leave Talladega Superspeedway on what Ryan Libby and John Peters have to do to win this championship with 4 races remaining. But congratulations to the champ, 6th win of the season. He's leading the win column, but now he wants to get those extra points and take that championship away and go back-to-back. Great night tonight.
And it's also worth mentioning that these drivers have a short week because that race at Talladega is a Monday night event. And as I check through the calendar here, that may be their final Monday night event of this season. And it does appear to be the case. So their Monday night finale will be at Talladega Superspeedway in, 4 days or so. So that should be wildly entertaining. They're going to go 50 laps around the 2.66 mile Superspeedway. But before we get to Monday night, Paul, I know we're going to be back with our NEPS guys tomorrow night. Tim, you've got a busy weekend yourself here with us on Saturday. Maybe even a Sunday race before we get to that, Paul.
Guys, we got Talladega in the Grand National Series coming up. We got Talladega in the trucks tomorrow night. Big.
So are you telling me that we're going to double dip Dega here in these next few days?
We are double dipping Dega.
I love
Absolutely.
it. And actually, you know what? We're going to triple dip it because Showtime Cup Series is at Talladega next Wednesday as well.
And Saturday night, we're going to be at Talladega in the Sim 500 Vidane Racing Super Speedway Series. I think. It's either Daytona or Talladega. I forget which one.
Should we just rename this to Talladega TV?
Talladega TV. I'm digging it. There you see the upcoming events on your schedule. Super Trucks here tomorrow night. That's going to be neat. That's a team-based format for the Truck Series, the Super Truck Series, and Talladega is definitely a team-based track. You could convince me otherwise. TCM, Tim's Corner Motorsports, Dirt Duels, Saturday night. Probably a 7:30 start time there, p.m. Eastern time. Made mention Sim 500 Vidane Super Speedway Series. Prime time, 10:30 p.m. Saturday night. 3 races left. We got 10 drivers in the bracket for the championship. We're going to find out who's going to take home that custom Pro-Am belt, championship belt, and who's going to be driving a race car at Stafford Motor Speedway come June 11th, courtesy of Rent a Race Car. Monday night, we got the Sim 500 Cup, and I believe we've got the NEPS Grand National Series as well. Maybe a doubleheader Monday night. We'll have to check on that. RBR Maritime comes back Tuesday. Showtime Cup Series. You heard Kyle say it. They're at Talladega Wednesday night, and then Thursday, Friday, off next week. So we're going to watch us a little bit of NASCAR because the NASCAR season is ramping back up. Very, very exciting. But Man, speaking of exciting, these NEPS guys, they never cease to amaze. Always putting on a good show no matter what track they're at, what drivers are involved. And, man, the entertaining aspect of these guys and, well, the stuff on Twitter is pretty fantastic. I'm looking, I don't know who was on the Vidane Twitter during the race because we were all busy working here. But somebody picked up this Post-it note that flew out of the 46 car under caution. And all it says is, go fast, turn left, beat up John Peters. So that must be Libby's guide to the championship here. Going to try and beat Johnny Two Belts as we're calling him that. And you gotta love the trash talk. It's all fun and games on Twitter all week long with these NEPS guys, but it's all business come race time, and these guys put on a fantastic show. Another win in the column for John Peters. Is he going to be able to come back with the championship? We'll see. 12 points is quite a bit to make up, especially when both drivers are always up front. So congratulations to John Peters here, winning the O'Quinn Trailer 75 here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. And that's going to do it here for us. We're going to wrap things up here at Vidane TV. Thanks, everybody, for coming out, being involved in the Facebook and YouTube chats. And do us a favor, do the whole social media deal. Like us, subscribe to us, share us, let your friends know you just got entertained by some internet racing here on Vidane TV. But we'll catch you guys tomorrow night. Talladega, trucks, my favorite combination, my favorite league. We're going to be getting down. We're going to be getting dirty down in Alabama tomorrow night here, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Do not miss it. We'll catch you then. And when we do, we're going to be doing it live. We'll see you.